Hello, everybody. This is another episode of Two Awesome Men, where we'll be reviewing two movies. These movies will be the very popular movies that I've seen all over Facebook, because that's all
for different reasons.
Yeah, well, that's all I've really used is Facebook. But I see it all over the place, such as Birdbox, and then there's also a movie that came out on Christmas, which was Holmes and Watson.
And just a side warning, I am a little sick again. I know we mentioned in our last video that I'd gotten over my sickness, but it's come back a little bit. So hopefully I don't cough too much. I do have a little bit of a runny nose, so my voice, well, there it goes. My voice might sound a little weird throughout the video, but that's just because I'm a little sick again. Birdbox is directed by Suzanne Bier.
And this movie stars Sandra Bullock, Trevante Rhodes, and John Malkovich. This movie, like I said earlier, this movie I've been seeing everywhere. I didn't even know it came out like on Netflix at all.
Yeah, neither did I.
I didn't hear anything about it.
I just started seeing memes of it on Facebook, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, and so the other day we were sitting at home. We decided let's go out and watch it on Netflix. And, well, first of all, I do want to talk about the acting in this movie is really good. Everybody in this movie just brings their top game to it. Trevante Rhodes, you don't really see him a lot, but you have seen him in movies like Moonlight and The Predator, right?
Yeah, very two different movies.
Yeah, two different movies. But he's fantastic in the movie. Sandra Bullock's fantastic as always, and John Malkovich as well. So I guess that's really one of the main points I want to bring out is the acting for this movie is really good.
Surprisingly, I'm actually going to kind of disagree with you. I'm not going to say that the acting is bad.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that it wasn't really like... I know all these actors are good actors because I've seen them in other things, and they're obviously like, you have Sandra Bullock, John Malkovich, the guy from Moonlight, and so I know they're good actors. It just, and like I said, it wasn't like bad acting. It didn't really give me like a sense of like suspense and like terror that I was supposed to have in the movie. It felt just like actors like in front of a camera, just like saying lines. And like it's not like it was bad acting. It just didn't feel like it was like the actual movie was giving me the feelings that I needed to feel.
Yeah, and I do believe that I agree with that portion, but I don't think it has anything to do with the acting. I think that has to do with the direction and the production. Because to me, the acting was good, but everything else when it came to suspense just wasn't done well. Because suspense needs other things other than acting to be there. And I do agree there wasn't a lot of suspense for this movie. But I really did love the acting for it. I want to say right now that this movie actually has a lot of really cool ideas to it. There's some really things that they reveal throughout the movie that is actually like, oh, that's a really cool idea. The movie itself, I actually do like the concept of it. It's a really cool concept. I think it was a book before.
Yeah.
I don't know who wrote it.
I heard it's not very accurate, but I think it was based on a book.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just didn't find this movie that great. I understand the popularity completely. It's kind of a pretty insane movie, kind of crazy movie.
It's pretty unique for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people will kind of compare it to The Happening and A Quiet Place. I do like A Quiet Place better. I haven't seen The Happening, but I'm pretty sure this movie's better than The Happening. But I do like A Quiet Place better. And for a few different reasons, because A Quiet Place... Although I do feel like A Quiet Place has a lot more plot holes in this film. Because I do like A Quiet Place, but it does have these little things that don't really make a lot of sense in it. But overall, the movie, what it was going for, it just felt a lot better than this film. Especially when it came to characterization and relationship development. That's a big reason why Birdbox drops down a lot for me is just because of the characterization relationships.
Yeah, and I will say, like, if this movie was put like into book, which is kind of weird because it's based on a book, but if this exact movie was put into book form, I think I would actually like really enjoy it.
Yeah. Which
just goes back to like this didn't give me the feelings that it should have. It's just like some of the lines just like weren't like delivered like in a way that. I don't know, like I think I would have really liked it as a book, and I'm kind of interested in reading the book because I think it is a pretty cool concept, and there were good things in the movie and in the writing.
Yeah,
it's just it didn't give me the feeling it should have.
Yeah, I don't really know how to get too much into it, but a lot of there's a relationship that is built on in this movie with Sandra Bullock and Trevante Rhodes, right?
Right.
And it builds up, and you can see it building up, and it's weird because I knew it was happening, and it was a pretty nice build up. I'm gonna say, if they would have kept doing it, but there's almost a certain point in which you really feel like there's not enough of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there's
not enough of their relationship.
Yeah, it might have had to do with the 5-year time jump that they had.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I can see why they had a time jump. I'm not the biggest fan of time jumps in a movie like this, where it's like a post-apocalyptic world, and like you have like all these relationships, especially like the relationship with Sandra Bullock and Trevante Rhodes, and you just like lose a lot of the build-up. You know? There was a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of build-up beforehand. But it's like they cut off like what the middle part that should have been there.
Yeah, and there's also the argument I actually just saw today, which a lot of people do believe. Some people believe that this movie has a lot to do with mental illness and people blinding themselves to the mental illness, not seeing people's mental illnesses and stuff like that. Which, in that case, in that way, that does make this movie a little cooler. That they do have that. If that's true. I haven't actually seen it confirmed. I've only seen it be fan theory. So there's no actual... I haven't seen it been confirmed. But if that's true, that's really cool. But if I'm going just on the basis of filmmaking, this movie to me was nothing great. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I did like it. I did find it decent. I just did not find this movie as good as it could have been.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me to another point that I was going to bring up, is that the monsters that are in this movie... they don't really explain that much of what they are, where they came from, which in certain movies it makes sense, like it works for them to not explain everything about the monsters. Like in A Quiet Place, they didn't really explain that much about them, but they gave us just enough to just understand what's going on. But this movie, they don't really explain, they don't even really show the monsters at all, or explain exactly what they are, or anything, or where they came from, and it just like it felt like a really big loose end that they didn't really explain that well.
Yeah, and also another big issue, which that's a big issue on its own. All my issues are big issues. I don't really have any tiny little issues that I can bring up because they got all the small things right, but all of their issues are big issues. Like the ending of this movie, I felt like was just so anticlimactic almost. It was so quick. And the whole movie's going for this suspenseful feeling, and the ending is just so quick. And I felt like I really wanted more out of the ending of this movie. I wanted a lot more out of this movie, and I felt like this movie could have been really good. I felt like it had a chance to almost be better than The Quiet Place, maybe as good as The Quiet Place if it tried a little harder, if it did a few more things right. But overall, to me, it was just a disappointing movie. So overall, this movie to me... wasn't bad. It was not a bad movie. It just wasn't anything great. I haven't really seen... I don't want to say it's overhyped because it's not like I've seen everybody say it's really good. I've just seen a lot of people talking about it. So I'm not going to say it's overhyped. But I just was disappointed. I'm going to say that Birdbox is 68% awesome.
Yeah, on paper, I actually kind of really love this movie. I don't feel like it was executed in the best possible way. It just felt kind of shallow with the things they were trying to do, even though they had good intentions and they were trying to do good. It just didn't come off that way. So I'm going to say that Bird Box is 60% awesome.
Now here's a very fun one we get to review, which is Holmes and Watson, which I believe right now, the last time I checked, like a 0% or
yeah, I think it moved up just a little bit, but only to like 6%.
Yeah, so...
it's directed by Ethan Cohen. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his first name, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah. And this movie stars, obviously, Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. And the only thing that can come good of this movie to me is if Will Ferrell is an MCU movie, that means all of our new Holmes and Watsons have been an MCU character.
Oh yeah, because Jude Law's going to be in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, so all of our Sherlock TV show from BBC, the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, and this one. If Will Ferrell plays in an MCU movie, that means that all Holmes and Watsons have been an MCU character. But other than that, this movie is awful.
Yeah, we all asked for Step Brothers 2 and a Sherlock Holmes 3 with Robert Downey Jr., but instead we got this crap.
Yeah, this movie, oh my goodness. Okay, last year we saw Chips. Okay, and that's a good movie to compare this movie to.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah, because it's a movie where, except this movie did have more cringy jokes than Chips did.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah, but a lot of the jokes in this movie were just not there. They weren't anything at all. I was getting so bored just sitting there. The theater was quiet. There was maybe like one guy to the side of me that was laughing here and there, but the movie, oh my goodness, it was horrible.
Yeah, and like that's like one of the main jobs for a comedy is just to be funny.
Yeah,
like it doesn't even have to have like a good story, but just be funny. But this movie can't even do that. And also, not only that, but like just the jokes that they try to make. Yeah. Just like distracted from the story they're trying to tell. Like it was hard to follow what the story was because they're trying so hard to make so many jokes, and all the jokes are so bad.
Yeah, and a lot of the jokes made contradictions with what the story was trying to be. Yeah. Sherlock Holmes isn't an idiot. Okay?
Neither is Watson.
Neither is Watson. Okay, and I understand you're trying to make it a comedy, but at least stay true to the characters you're portraying. You know, this movie. It's not like it's... I mean, I guess it's technically trying to be a parody, but, like, you still have Sherlock Holmes and Watson. You can still make them smart characters while having a comedy. You can still do that. It's possible.
Heck, even the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes had a decent amount of comedy. Yeah. I mean, they weren't obviously comedies, but they had a decent amount of comedy in them.
Yeah. And in this movie, Sherlock Holmes... I mean, he... Obviously, you see him as being smart here and there, but he was just... He was an idiot at times. He was an idiot, just an idiot at times. And Watson, okay, one of the biggest things in this movie, and I'm gonna get into spoilers, maybe, most likely. I'm not gonna try to stay away from them, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, because I need to talk about this movie, how bad it was. Not for too long, hopefully. But Watson, that was a weird voice. But Watson. In this movie, the whole thing is he's trying to become... He wants to, but he doesn't obviously say it, but he wants to become co-detective with Sherlock Holmes. And Sherlock Holmes is a very narcissistic guy that's really doesn't care about anybody and believes people are lower than him, right? So Watson wants to become co-detective instead of just his assistant. And he's a doctor. His name is Dr. Watson. And he's actually called smart in the movie. But he's just this bumbling idiot.
Yeah, he's probably even dumber than Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Which they even played it up that he was dumber than Sherlock Holmes. Which I mean, in all works of Sherlock Holmes is the smartest guy in the world. So I mean, he is smarter than Watson. But they made him just like complete like buffoons, maybe.
Yeah,
Watson, that is.
And like I said, I understand it's a comedy. So yeah, sure, make some jokes, but don't just steer away from the characters completely. You know, I love those Robert Downey Jr. movies, and man, I wish they made a third one. But this crap right here was horrible. Like, it was not funny.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the story made sense completely. I mean, I guess maybe the big plot points did, but like I said, a lot of the jokes just contradicted itself completely.
Which is crazy, because like all the actors in this movie are like pretty great actors, and like this is crazy. And even Will Ferrell, like. I know a lot of people don't like his newer movies, but I think his newer movies are still at least decent movies. Like even Daddy's Home, I never saw Daddy's Home 2, but the first one, it wasn't like the funniest movie, but it was still a decent movie.
Yeah, and
but this one is like the first awful Will Ferrell movie I've seen.
Yeah, even like Get Hard. Get Hard, I'm not going to act like it's some great movie, but it's actually funny. Like, those are movies that I genuinely laughed in quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know. I didn't love Daddy's Home, but I genuinely laughed in it.
Yeah.
This movie, I was sitting there like, oh my goodness.
I honestly don't think I laughed once.
I don't think I did. I think there's a chuckle. Here's my thing. I think there's a point in there like, oh, there's a joke that should be funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But it's not. There's a few jokes like that should be funny, but they're not. They try to do something similar to where, like the other guys, to where like they keep using the same joke, but they do it so stupidly. Like they try to make the same joke of like how, you know, the time period it's in, there's a lot of sexist men and stuff like that. Yeah. But they keep using those jokes over and over again to where it's like, just calm down. Okay, we understand it. Okay, we get it. This, like, there's sexist back then, and we get it. Like, just stop making the same jokes. They had the Titanic in this movie, and they kept making it because they rode the Titanic, and they're like, oh, good job on riding the safest ship in the world, like before it's going off. And they kept talking about how safe the Titanic is. I'm like, we get it, okay? We understand. We understand the Titanic crashed, okay? Okay, but no, this movie was purely trash. Okay, this movie is going to go on my list for the worst movies of this year.
Yeah, right now it's on the top of my list.
Yeah, right
I don't
now
know if
it's
it's gonna
on
stay
the top.
there, but
It's not. I mean, we are going to take a week where we watch a whole bunch of movies, so maybe it'll get topped. But right now, that movie is genuinely one of the worst pieces of trash I've seen this year. Worst piece of trash I've ever seen.
and like the only decent thing I can say about this movie was that the costume design was actually decent. I mean, it wasn't like anything spectacular or anything, but it was passable enough.
Well, guys, I'm going to say this movie's trash. Zach,
Trash.
we're going to say this movie is 10% awesome. And guys, before we finish this video, we want to go ahead and say a very huge congratulations to our friends over at Half-Cocked who have just recently gotten to 300 subscribers. If you don't know who they are a very unapologetic YouTube channel that reviews movies. And we have actually went ahead and collabed with them a few times, and we really hope to do so in the future. So go ahead and go over to their channel. We'll put a link in the description for that. Go ahead and subscribe to them and give them congratulations for their 300 subscriber milestone. Well, anyways, guys, sorry we didn't have a whole lot of good things to say about the movies today. Thankfully, Birdbox out of these two movies was the significant one, extremely better. But there you go. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to, you can go down below and go and subscribe and like this video, and you can go ahead and let us know what you think about Birdbox. Maybe you liked it, because like I said, I have seen a lot of people talk about it. So maybe you like Birdbox, maybe you love Birdbox. In all honesty, I can understand somebody loving this movie. I can understand someone hating this movie. I can't understand someone loving Holmes and Watson, though. Okay, because that was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So just let us know in the comments what you think about those movies.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. We have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at 2AwesomeMen.
And as always, thank you so much for watching, and you will see us later.